Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Name One Player podcast. My name is Nicole. I am your host, and I just want to say a huge thank you to every single person for hitting play today. It's been a long time since I've said that. I had to take a little bit of a break. We had a lot going on. And unfortunately, I never want the podcast to go on the back burner, but sometimes life happens and things take a priority. So I missed you guys. Thank you to every person who reached out and made sure that I was A-okay. Things are okay. Things are settling down and we are ready to get back into the weekly episodes. But I'm sorry for just kind of ghosting you guys. That was super uncool of me. And then I made a video being like, I promise I won't do that. And then I did it again. So I am very sorry for that. Let me truly apologize from the bottom of my heart. I know everybody understands that life happens, but I like to connect with every person who listens as much as I possibly can. And it really does make me happy that there are people who expect the episodes weekly and notice when they don't come out. So thank you. I'm sorry for any alarm that I caused, but we're back, baby. We are back, and Happy New Year, I guess, to everybody. We are back in the swing of things, and we're actually doing my favorite thing in the whole wide world. We are talking about football and the National Football League. And it's playoff season, baby. And the Minnesota Vikings, I am wearing my Vikings hoodie today, I don't know if you can see that, are not in the playoffs. And we knew that. I kind of knew like week 3 that it probably wasn't going to happen, but that's okay. And I've just been able to enjoy some stress-free football. And one of the best playoff games that I've seen in a really long time was on Saturday. I'm recording this on Monday. And that was with the Bears and the Packers. And being a Vikings fan, for anybody who doesn't know, the Bears and the Packers are in the same division as the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. They are the Vikings, their biggest rivals. I wasn't sure if this would be like a hate watch kind of game. I did know going into it, honestly, that I did want the Bears to win this game because the way that I look at it, when you look at the NFC North, the Bears just aren't really on the Vikings' radar as being a huge rival. They're definitely a rival. It's a divisional rival. But for a very long time, at least since I've been watching football, the Bears have not been that good. Like, I really haven't cared too much about them. I haven't worried too much about them. That was the case with the Lions previously, but now I don't like the Lions. I don't like them. So I was rooting for the Bears, I think, as much as you can root for a division rival, mainly because I just didn't want to see the Packers win. I didn't want to see it. Spoiler for anybody who didn't watch the game. Well, not really a spoiler. I don't know if anybody's like planning on going back to watch the game, but if you haven't watched the game, the Bears won. First half, it did not look like they were going to win at all, but something happened. And actually, you may have noticed by the title of this episode, the Bears have the Catholic Church on their side, apparently, because something happened and divine intervention occurred. The Bears won that game, and it was a great second half. To be honest, I didn't even watch the first half. I looked at the score and I saw the Packers were up, and I was like, nah, I don't want to watch this. Then I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling in my soul that I needed to turn on that game, so I watched the second half. Really glad that I did, because it was a crazy game. Congratulations to the Bears. I've actually posted a few TikToks about this, and I'm all in on the Bears now. I'm kind of down for the Bears to win a Super Bowl, which is a bit insane. And honestly, as I say that out loud, there is part of my brain going, girl, what the hell are you talking about? You don't want the Bears to win a Super Bowl. But I don't know. I think I'm just undecided. That is kind of the best part about the Minnesota Vikings not being in the playoffs. I don't care. I just don't want a team that I don't like to win. And that would have been the Packers. I did not want them to win the Super Bowl. I don't want the Steelers to win the Super Bowl because I don't really like Aaron Rodgers. And I don't really want the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl because I'm bitter. Sam Darnold was the Minnesota Vikings quarterback last season. He did really beautiful things for that team. And he choked real bad. So if he now has gotten over his choking, he can breathe and play football games well and doesn't freak out during those big games. You know, ethically and as like an empathetic person, I'm really freaking happy for Sam Darnold. I actually really do like Sam Darnold, but I'm not happy enough for him that he then figures it out on another team and then wins a Super Bowl for that team. So I don't want the Seahawks to win. don't want the Steelers to win. It is Monday day. This evening, by the time I get this out, maybe the Steelers might not even be in the Super Bowl contention anymore, because they will have lost the game. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm all in on the Bears or the Bills. A Bears-Bills Super Bowl would be chef's kiss. Today, however, we have a really amazing guest on. We have Ash. I've met Ash before. She lives in the UK. She does a lot of really cool work with DAZN and Channel 5, which is a network in the UK, talking all things football. And Ash is a Green Bay Packers fan. So the wound might still be a little bit fresh. So we're going to go easy on her. Okay. I'm not going to beg on the Packers too much with her because I'm a well-adjusted human being with feelings and empathy for people. Girl, losing to your biggest rival, also too, if you're not as familiar with football, the Bears and the Packers rivalry is that's personal. That's a personal rivalry. So losing in that kind of rivalry, that's tough. And we're going to hear all about Ash's thoughts on the game and how she's doing now. We will also get into how Ash became an NFL fan and pick her brain a little bit about the work that she's doing in the NFL in the UK and just hear her perspective about being a female fan that also lives in the United Kingdom. That's a bit of a double whammy for the people who are like, you don't know about football. So we will get all into her thoughts on that and how she combats the haters, if you will. All right, everybody, without further ado, please welcome Ash. All right, everybody, we have Ash here with us. Ash, how are you doing today?
Good. My cat has just come in, literally, as we just hit record.
It.
So if a tail flies by, that's podcast life, isn't it?
It is. What's your cat's name?
So I'll show you. This is Stewie. He's a rescue. We got him a couple of weeks ago. He was abandoned. But yeah, so he's called Stewie Lombardi Griffin.
Love it. Well, yeah.
The history, it's got to be there. But otherwise I'm good. My wounds are still healing, girl, from the weekend. Let's be real. But I'm fine. Whatever. Life happens. Whatever. Yeah. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, the Packers are hanging out in Cancun now with the Vikings and the Lions.
Yes, we're in good company. And that other team, they'll be joining us this weekend, so it's fine. Yeah.
The other team that shall not be named. We'll name them at the end. We will get all into your thoughts on that game. I'm super excited to hear about it. You're in the UK, so what time did it end for you? 5, 4-ish?
So I think it started at 1:15, 1:30. I know there was a little bit of a delay. But yeah, I was up until about 4:30. So it started about 4:30 a.m. my time. And then I probably didn't get to sleep till about 7 a.m. Just, pondering life and my life choices after everything that happened. But I'm so used to the night games. It's a question I get from a lot of Americans, actually. They're just like, how do you do it? What time do games start? What time do they finish? And I'm just like, I'm so used to it now. It doesn't really affect me, the start and finish times. And then for 6 months of the year, I am living on coffee. I joke my blood coffee level is 99%. And I'll catch up on sleep in the summer. It always happens. And then it gets to July and I kind of miss that kind of antisocial kind of time frame and time life, and I'm just like, when can I get back to my weird ass hours and say goodbye to my family and non-NFL friends again? I love it.
That's so funny because again, when I lived in London, we did actually meet in person once. It was at I don't even know what the bar was, but when the Vikings were the home team. I think about this often, actually. Well, and I didn't tell you that we would talk about this, but you had lost a bet of some sort, and then you had to put on a Vikings jersey and do the skull chant with Victor the Viking. What was the bet that you lost? How did that come to be?
I think it was, so my good friends, I say my good friends, I'm seeing them tomorrow. They're gonna absolutely rip into me for the game over the weekend. But my good friends, Dre and George, one's a Colts fan and one is a Giants fan. So misery loves company in my friendship group, apparently. I think Dre bet with me that I had to wear a Vikings jersey. I think it was if the Packers lost to the Vikings in
Okay.
one of our games last year, and we did. And I think it was that, or it might have been. Do I think the Vikings are going to lose a game that they were going to play like the week before coming? It was something like that. But either way, I
Mm,
lost the bet. And then I remember because it was during the London Games week and it was a pub near Victoria.
yes.
And they were just like, okay, you've got to we'll find a Vikings jersey. And we were filming that day. So we have just come from
Yes.
Tottenham as well. It was great. And we'd seen kind of the guys' locker rooms at Tottenham. Like it was really fun, really exciting and everything. And I was in like my Packers gear because we were filming our
Vikings
show.
home bar. Let me just
Right.
Which honestly,
And
I
I
respect it. I respect it. That's why it's a Packers episode. I'm wearing my Vikings stuff today. So.
Exactly. But I do remember and I was just like, oh, nobody's gonna like throw me out or anything like that. So I came in and obviously my friend Dre then just shouts straight away, she's a Packer fan. And suddenly like there were guys booing me. But it's like it's all in good fun. It was all in good jest. But yeah, so my friend Tom, he gave me his jersey. They brought over Victor the Viking. And yeah, I had to do the skull chant. And you know what I will say? I'm never like if I make a bet with somebody, I will always follow through. I'm never one to be
Nice.
like, oh no, sorry, I can't do that today. Or like I back out of it. But listen, I'll happily like hand on heart and stuff. The Vikings fans, they were such good fun. It was hilarious. The video got really good views, so I'm thankful for that. But yeah, it was good. And even like being in enemy territory and stuff, I will always say this with Vikings fans too, you guys travel really well and it's always like a nice environment to be in, even if like you're a rival team and stuff. So yeah, hats off to you guys. I will say that, girl. Yeah.
All right, Ash, moving on. Tell me and everybody listening a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm 32. Grew up in London.
Love it. Love it.
So I know most people from the UK, they'll either become fans from the fact like their dad or something has gone on like a work trip over to America and whatever city that he's been in, like he'll bring back a couple of souvenirs or something. So
Okay.
that's kind of one example. And then another example for UK fans is through Madden.
Yeah.
Like the first team that they pick from Madden, and that's who they roll with. I have neither.
Nice.
So my ex got me into NFL. So it was 2018. I always like laugh about it because I'm just like, stuff him. But I mean, he made me an NFL fan. So, you know, I've got to thank him, unfortunately. So in 2018, I just started watching NFL games with him. So, like, religiously every Sunday. And I love my contact sports. Like, the more brutal, the better. Like, I'm a big lacrosse fan, big rugby fan. I fell in love with NFL pretty much straight away. But after about week 5 of the 2018 season, I was like, okay, I need like my own team to support and follow. And my ex is a Falcons fan. I didn't want to pick the Falcons, and I wasn't aware at this point just how sad the Falcons have been and the whole 28-3 situation. So I'm happy I didn't go with them. I'll say as well, like, I don't have any affiliation with like a state in America. Like, I don't have family over there or anything. So I literally went in, I got every starting QB's jersey from the 2018 season up on a screen in front of me. And I chose my favorite color, which is green. I mean, I could have been an Eagles or a Jets fan. I really could have been. The Jets green was just not it. And just the Eagles, it just didn't really like speak to me. But Aaron Rodgers, number 12, home green jersey, I was like, this is it. I love it. And then I did my research afterwards, learning kind of about Green Bay, about Lambeau, beer, cheese, football. I was like, count me in. I don't need anything else. And the rest is history, literally.
It's an
Yeah.
amazing story. I love that. I also didn't realize how similar our getting into the NFL was because I think it was 2018 for me too, that season.
No. Oh my God, I love this.
And it was my ex also too. And I literally say all the time, like, I mean, it's been enough time. No bad blood, whatever. We've moved on. But he's done such a great thing for me. Like, annoying man for sure. But I gotta thank him.
Oh my God, we have the same story. This is wild.
But also to my ex, he didn't have a specific team to cheer for. He just loved the NFL. But I was like, no, I want to get into this, and I do want a team to cheer for because that's what's going to lock me in more. Like sitting watching Red Zone from the get-go, I'm like, this is a little bit too much for me. I want to lock in with the team.
Yeah.
And actually, it was the first Vikings game I ever watched on TV was against the Packers. They lost, the Packers won. but I still had the best time ever. I was like, oh my
I
gosh.
love this.
And like, well, there's two versions to the story too. Part of the reason why I picked the Vikings, kind of the whole Madden thing. I didn't personally play Madden. My brother did, and he used to like get mad at me when I was playing with my Barbies and he's playing Madden. He'd be like, "Oh, you're making too much noise. Stop." I'm like, "You're just bad at the game. I don't know what to tell you." But he would always play like it was such a cheat code to play as the Vikings. You got Randy Moss, you got
Okay.
Culpepper, you got Carter. Like you were going to win. I guess my brother didn't win
Yeah.
because he wasn't good, but it was like a cheat code. So I knew about the Vikings from a young age. And actually, speaking of the day that you guys were filming and doing content in London, I remember you guys went around and you asked people how they became Vikings fans. And I mentioned at the time, 2018, the song Truth Hurts by Lizzo was just everywhere. Everywhere. And Truth Hurts, Lizzo, new man on the Minnesota Vikings. I'm hearing it on the radio all the time. And I'm like, okay, let's just become a Vikings fan. Purple is my favorite color. And I'm like, you know what? I think the stars are aligning. But it's interesting though, and I'm sure we'll get into your experience being a woman loving sports, especially in the UK. But I
Yeah.
remember you guys posted, NFL on Zone UK posted the clip of me saying I'm a Vikings fan because of the Lizzo song Truth Hurts. And the comments, oh, that was not a valid reason for
No.
some men. But I love it. I own it. I think it's a fun reason. Most people just aren't, some people are born into it, sure. A lot of people aren't. And who's to say Madden is a more valid reason than a Lizzo song?
It like it always amazes me how people just are able to say, "Nope, your reason is actually not good enough
Yeah.
to be a fan of this team." And I'm just like, like, do you want me to have like a magical, mystical fairy tale story? Like, how do you want it to go and stuff? I can't help but just roll my eyes at stuff like that because I love that song. I completely forgot about that lyric, but like, I was singing that for ages. And I guarantee you, there are so many other people out there who heard that song, had a little Google, who had no idea kind of what NFL is or what Minnesota, like what it meant and stuff, and then kind of like dip their toe into the NFL world that way. It shouldn't matter. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
man, oh, stuff the haters. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Well, you know what? It's interesting too. I've never thought about it this way until this conversation. But, the people who were born into it or whatever, their families and grandparents, all of that, they've been fans, like a generational thing. And they consider that like more valid. But we at least picked it. We felt it in our soul and then made the choice. We weren't just told, hey, this is who you're going to be a fan of. So, if we really feel like arguing, we could maybe argue that point of view too.
You know what? That's so true. Like we picked our team, and I'll always say, like, I'm a ride and die now. It is what it is, through thick and thin. In a way, I'm kind of happy that I picked my team rather than being born into it. Because imagine if you're born into just a terrible team that has never seen a Lombardi trophy at home, never seen you play in a Super Bowl. Yeah, it could be worse for us, girl.
Or
100%.
you could voluntarily pick that situation like I did. So what is worse in that situation? But that is awesome. Okay, so Ash, you know what? I love that story. I'm so glad that we figured that out. Shout out to our exes. I hope they're doing well, I guess. I don't know. Hope they're enjoying this playoff football. We will get into the playoff game, but before we touch on that, I wanted to discuss, the work that you do in the UK surrounding the NFL. You're quite involved with a couple of different organizations. You've actually created your own. Tell me about how you started, taking your passion for the Packers and turning it into content and actually working
Yeah,
talking about the NFL.
100%. I got furloughed from my day job here in the UK. I used to work in IT.
Okay.
Hated it. At that time, like for people who don't know what furlough is, so people in the UK, we still got paid our salary, but I just was not working, which was great for like the first like week. And then I was like, okay, I need something to do because I have no idea how long this is going to go on for. Ended up going on for like 4 or 5 months. But so I said to myself, I was like, okay, do I enjoy my day job? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Like I went down into that road like in week 2 of lockdown and I was like, no, I really don't. And I've always loved kind of sports journalism, getting into sport and stuff. And here in the UK, I'm a huge rugby fan. And I think when I was younger, like I really wanted to be like a rugby pundit, like getting into that kind of sport and stuff. However, two factors, the rugby kind of pundit kind of space, it is quite saturated at the moment here. And also, I didn't really want to go back to like university and do like another 3, 4 year course in journalism. So I kind of just said to myself, let's go down the social media road and just see what happens. And I was like, okay, well, I like NFL. And I was having a look around and stuff, and I didn't see any UK female
Yeah.
NFL voice. And I was like, okay, let's just try it. And then I said to myself as well, I was like, okay, let's do this page. And I knew, like, I've always said to myself, if I get like one view, one follower, amazing, that's fun. I do this for like myself. So, like, any video that I make and stuff, I'm not doing it to like go viral or be famous or anything like that. I'm just doing it because I enjoy being creative and I love kind of just expressing myself. Hey, if people want to watch and get involved in the comment section, etc. and stuff, that's awesome. I love the fact that I went in with that mindset and I've stayed with that mindset, if that makes sense. It kind of just like blew up real quickly. I just said to myself, okay, well, what can I do to get more female fans then involved in NFL? Like, I want to get more NFL girlfriends in the UK and want people to chat to rather than it just be like me and a bunch of my guy friends. And again, like back then and stuff, I was still relatively new in the NFL world. Like, I knew a bit of the lingo and everything, but being involved in those chats when you were like sat at a table with 8 guys and everything, and I'm just sat there being like, okay, great. And like some stuff goes over my head and everything. And I was like, okay, I need the girls, I need to get them involved. So yeah, just started making fun little videos. And all I had was like a £10, so like $10 ring light from Amazon and my phone in my room. That's all I did to start. And so, a side note, I always get this question a lot from people. They're just like, how did you start? How did you do it? And I was like, that's literally just it. A phone and a ring light in my bedroom.
Love it.
Be creative, have an idea. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, still put it out there. But yeah, I was very fortunate then that a TV show called NFL End Zone on Channel 5, which is a network that we have over here in the UK, they just messaged me. I got like a DM one day on Instagram from the producer called Tom, and he was just like, hi, we're kind of looking for a new presenter for our show. Any chance we can have a chat? Naturally, I'm just like messaging back straight away, like, yes, here's all my details. I'm free. Give me a call.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. Yeah, so the doors kind of just opened, which is really cool. So obviously from the work that I do with Channel 5 and NFL End Zone, I was very fortunate enough then to work and do stuff with Sky Sports within the NFL space as well. And then also DAZN, which is really cool. Americans that I know probably know DAZN more for like boxing, maybe, but DAZN here in the UK, it's kind of where NFL Game Pass, so kind of your version of NFL Plus lives, first Europeans. So you know it's huge, and I feel very fortunate and lucky that me just doing like a couple of fun little videos and everything, just expressing my thoughts, has kind of led to that. I absolutely love it. There are definitely more female British creators kind of putting themselves out there online, like on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff. Like they come up all the time and everything. But I definitely want more because I think it's fun. And I try and follow as many as I can. I love interacting with them and stuff as well, especially when it comes to like the London games, because that's when you get a chance to like meet people in person as much as you
Yeah.
can too.
That is such a cool story. I had no idea that that's just how it happened. I feel like so many really stunningly beautiful things came out of lockdown.
Right?
Like being in these situations, like it really was a horrible situation, but it allowed so many people to just kind of put themselves out there or kind of pivot a little bit. So that is so cool that that was like your origin story. And I wrote down what you said and then like underlined it 3 times about how you said that the guiding factor for all of this was that you were just doing it for yourself because you love the NFL. You wanted something to do because you didn't really love IT, but you love the NFL. You were passionate about it. These videos were always for you. And I love what you said too, like one like, one view, that's enough for you, because I do think it is really easy to get discouraged, I guess, by like likes and views and stuff. But even if one person likes it, then that's great because you did your job. You put out that passion for just one person, and I totally agree. If you don't have that, it unfortunately you're probably not going to go anywhere, because that passion is what makes things good, what makes people want to connect with you and keep coming back to your content. But I will say, you could definitely tell that you are very passionate about the Packers and football in general with your content. So keep it up.
Oh, thanks, girl. I appreciate you.
Of course, of course. And speaking about the women in the UK, I completely agree. I do think there's a lot more creators now, but that is so cool that you're saying, the timing was everything. You noticed this gap there and you were able to hop in and take advantage of the fact that
Yeah,
there weren't really a lot of women talking about sports in the UK at the time, but there definitely are a good amount of fans. I remember when I lived in London and going, I went to the Hippodrome very often to watch these games, and it was always really cool to see. Of course, the women were very outnumbered by men, but like meeting other women who love the NFL, it was just so much fun. So, when you created NFL Ladies of the UK, I noticed that you've done a few meetups and stuff. Is that something that's going to continue?
100%. So it's actually been on my mind for ages to try and set something like this up. And I always say to myself as well, like, I haven't got like hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff, but I've got like a little bit of a platform. And I'm always just like, if I've got a bit of a platform, let's try and use it for something good. And I've always known as well, the minute you try and set something new up, you're never going to get like thousands of people turning up at one go and stuff. It's going to start small and you have to put your work into it and watch it grow. But that is something that I know as well that other people will get disheartened about, having something start small and maybe not seeing growth for a little while. But for me, like, I know that that's the case. So I was just like, oh, you know what? Okay. This was like last May. Now it feels like a good time. Let's do it. So I met a girl, the guys and stuff from Black Girls Love Football over in America. So they came over to London, and I met them for a little bit, and we just decided to kind of host a little get together. And so I created kind of NFL Ladies UK from that, which was really cool. Because I mean, when I first started getting into NFL, I was the only female that I knew, and I knew that must be the case for other women. And knowing as well, I think I can't remember where I read this stat, but I always see it as well when the London games come around. I don't think I've ever seen like a group of females going to a London game like on their own. It's always
Yeah.
kind of with their partner, with their family, with their boyfriend, husband, whatever. I've always said to myself, man, I would love like, and it'll happen one day and it will, but I would love one day to like just get a group of like 10, 20 girls and just like go to a game together without having to bring the guys and stuff there.
Yeah.
Um, so I just reached out to a couple of my friends already that I've met and known kind of over the past few years now since becoming a fan. And I was like, guys, do you want to get involved with this group? I want to do like a couple of meetups, and then, we can like raise money for charity at these meetups. We can make it fun, make it worthwhile, get some food and drinks involved, and just kind of get to know the community a bit better and kind of create a nice vibe for people. And that's kind of all I thought about. And I didn't really go into like any more depth and detail. I didn't really think too much more of it. And we had about like, I think like 15 girls turned up for the first event, which was amazing. And these girls like all came individually and stuff, which is awesome as
Ah,
well. So we just
yeah.
kind of like made a new group, made a new
I
friendship
love
group
it.
really. And
Love
it was
it.
so fun. We were just like chatting about life. And it was like people from different teams as well, which I always
Yeah.
love as well, rather than it just being like, oh, there was like 15 Packer fans there. Like, no, there's like a Raiders fan, Jets fan, Lions fan, Chiefs, like, which I absolutely love. So I want to get all 32 at one point. But
Love that. That's great.
right. But it was so beautiful to see and just have fun. Like we were chatting about boys, about men, about like relationship stuff, but then also about football, just having a good time and stuff. And I remember saying as well, because I'm a big advocate for this, like I'm never going to say no to anybody coming. Whether a guy wants to come up and support the group and be involved as well, I'm not going to turn them away at the door. So, like my good friend Liam, he came because he was stopping through before going to Beyonce's concert, and I was like, "Oh, do you mind if I come through? I want to say hi to everybody." And I was like, "Oh my god, of course." Support the girls, get involved and stuff. So he came down for a drink too. But yeah, the next event we did, we doubled the numbers with the girls and stuff that were there, which is awesome. And I was like, okay, we got to get like on socials now. That's kind of like the next step and everything. So I think, with our next event that we do, which I will say for anybody like listening and stuff, it will be in London at some point. I will make the effort to kind of maybe do an event up north, so like Manchester, Liverpool way in Northern England. Like I love my Northern ladies, they're absolutely amazing. And they make the effort to come down to London every year for the games and stuff. But if the numbers are there, great, I'll go up. But the next one will probably be in London again, just for ease of effort for the time being. But yeah, I mean, I just love it. And I love kind of meeting new people every single time. And I think my end goal is obviously just to create like a nice environment for women to get involved with. And like I said before, to be able to say, oh, if they've got a husband, if they've got a boyfriend or a partner or something, to just be like, oh, I'm going to go out with the girls and I'm going to go chat some football and stuff with the girls. You don't need to come. You're good.
I love it. I
um
love it. Been loving following along on Instagram, like with the meetups that you've done and just seeing them grow. And I remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, I'll totally have to let Ash know. Because I do want to make a London trip soon ish. Part of me was like, in the summertime, maybe. But then I'm like, maybe I wait. Oh, no, but I guess they don't announce the schedule till
End of May.
May. Yeah,
Mm.
so and I was thinking I might go to London in May. I don't know. We're it's all a toss up.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, right? I'm like, oh well, I'll have to let Ash know because it would be so cool to meet with this group of women.
We can
But
make
part of
that
me was like,
happen.
maybe I
Yeah.
do want to go to the London games. But I loved what you said though, too, just chatting with other women. Like, I am so grateful for the really helpful and enlightened men who work in sports and the conversations that I have with them about football. They're awesome. Like I can get lost for hours talking to other men about football, but there's just some that hits different about the girl talk with football. Like it's just I want women to talk to about football. It
Right?
just again, the men I have a special place of gratitude for them, but let's get the women involved and the conversations that you have with women about football, personally my favorite.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? Guys will understand because 100% they want their guy chat, they want their guy banter, they want all of that themselves. We just want the same, but for women. Do you know what I mean? Like if a guy ever has an issue with that, uh,
Yeah.
I'll show them the door straight
Bye.
away.
Yeah.
See ya. Yeah. Like how can you have an issue with just wanting kind of a bit of girl time, a bit of girl chat and stuff? But I do think especially for like some women, having kind of like a safe space to be able to go to and explore the sport a bit more because I was
Yeah.
like when I first started watching NFL, there is a lot and it can be quite intimidating to kind of step your foot into because I mean let's be real, it still is. It is a very much like a male dominated sport, especially with fans. So I mean it's intimidating. So I always say, like, for new females who are like just dipping their toe in, and even for veteran female fans as well, who've been fans for, 20, 30 years, just kind of every now and then having that space that you could just be like, oh, okay, like I'm with the girls. Like, if there's like if they think to themselves, oh, I've got kind of a silly question I want to ask, you know what? I've got a safe space that I can do it in. Like I remember when I first started watching, and then I went to my first London game, the first one that happened in Tottenham. I was so confused as to why the yellow line that you see on the TV isn't actually on the field.
There.
And I mean, I laughed to myself because I was like, well, of course, like it's digital, duh.
If you don't know, you
Um,
don't know.
but you don't know
Yeah.
exactly. And like some guys overheard and they started laughing and they were like, oh, like she's thick. And I was just like, all right, let's pipe it down. I was able to like laugh it off and stuff anyway. But I always think to myself, damn, if somebody else had that question, they then might feel intimidated to ask more questions or find out more about the
Totally.
sport and stuff and be educated. And so, I always say to like the girls that come to our events and stuff, and even like messaging just on DMs on socials, we've got a little group chat and everything going on. There's no dumb questions, there's no stupid things or anything. Nobody's ever going to put you down even for an opinion. I always think to myself as well, like there's no wrong opinion, and if you've got something to say, stand on business, like
Mhm.
own it, put up with it and everything. Yeah, it's just creating that space and stuff for women is, oh, man, it's just so important. So like I always say, like if I can just kind of fly the flag a little bit for them, um, and help out in any way that I can. Amazing.
I love that. It's hilarious that you say that too because the first My brother grew up playing football as well, so I was pretty, like, anti-football because I also would have to, like, leave the house to go watch his games and practices, so I
I'm
hated
with
it when
you.
I was younger. But I had a general knowledge of football. Again, it would be on TV at my house, but, like, I wasn't really locked in, and I remember the first game, again, that Packers-Vikings game, I'm watching at home. I was by myself, and I did not understand. I knew there were 4 downs. You had 4 downs to get from one end to the other
Yeah,
and to score a touchdown. But I didn't realize that the downs reset after you got 10 yards. I had no idea. I was confused when the downs kept resetting because, they're on 3rd down and they're so far away. But then now they're at 1st down again. And I genuinely didn't know that they reset and I was very confused. And I remember I looked online. I was like, what's happening here? But that's okay. Like, nobody's born knowing that. And these men who were kind of snickering at you, were they born knowing that they put that yellow line on the field for the viewers to see how many more to get to that 10 yards? I'm sure not. Maybe they had to Google it. Maybe somebody told them. But that's also interesting too. It's like how many men are sitting there, having the same questions that a woman might have, that anybody might have, not knowing about football. But they're
yeah.
just, it is really tough to ask those questions specifically in the NFL space. What comes to mind is like Twitter and stuff. Like, unfortunately, if you don't know and you might show that you don't know something, there is a group of people on there who kind of will jump down your throat, which I think is very
They're ready.
unfortunate.
They
But
are ready to come
yeah,
for you. If and, like, as well, if you get something wrong,
yeah,
like, I've had it before and stuff where, like, I've done a video or something and I've said something wrong. Fair
yeah,
enough. You make
yeah.
mistakes. And the men that come for you in the comments, they're just like, "She doesn't know it." And I think I said this to you before we hit record and stuff, but I get it a lot because I'm British, but they're always just like, "Stick to soccer, you don't know anything." And I've had this before, like, and I've said it to guys as well. And funny, it is always guys. I haven't had a run-in with a woman,
No,
hopefully never. But I will always say to them, like, for me, every day is a school day. I love learning. There is so much history, for example, within the NFL. There's so much going on. There are rule changes every year.
yes.
For somebody to be like, I know everything and be like adamant that they know it all, I would always say they're lying. They are absolutely like they're kidding themselves. But yeah, I mean, I love the fact that I'm learning every day. And yeah, I'll make a mistake. I'll say something wrong one time. But you know what? If I do say something wrong, if I get it wrong, just let me know. I'm happy to learn and educate myself and be like, oh, you know what? I didn't know that. But now that I do, great. I can then pass on that knowledge. And I'll always say, like, to guys or women, anybody listening, actually, just whatever you do, just don't be a dick to somebody else if they do get it wrong or they don't know.
It's funny though too because the people commenting, if you ever do get something wrong and like being like, "Oh, you don't know anything," those are the people who are not posting online. They do not have the confidence to talk about their love for football online because they're too afraid of maybe getting something wrong. Like, they're clearly just projecting onto you. The people that
Yeah.
do, do this for a living or just for fun, they're never gonna come for you in that disrespectful, rude way
No.
for saying something wrong. But anybody who is putting themselves out there is only gonna have respect for somebody, even if they do maybe get something wrong. They're never gonna tear you down. So, all right, switching gears here a little bit. Packers, Bears, the wild card round. Unfortunately, did not go the way that Packers fans would have hoped. What were your thoughts, leading into the game? Because I don't know what the predictions were, but in all honesty, I didn't predict for the Bears to win that game.
No.
It was surprising, I think. It was a crazy game, and I've said this multiple times. Honestly, sometimes it's nice when the Vikings don't make the playoffs. I just get to sit back. There's no stress. I don't think any team recently on the Vikings would have won the Super Bowl, so it's not like I'm prolonging the disappointment. It's already done, and I just get to watch some good
Yeah.
football. That was a good football game. First of all, what were your thoughts going into the game? What were your thoughts during the game? And what are your thoughts now?
So I knew it was going to be juicy and spicy and everything in
Yeah.
between.
I
Any
mean, with
best
that
Packers game,
rivalry, there's no
right?
chance that it's not going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we were 1.5 point favorites going into the game. So it wasn't
Oh,
like
that's
it
not a
wasn't
lot.
anything.
No.
No, it wasn't anything big. But
Okay.
I do appreciate, obviously, Soldier Field, the noise level, if you're the away team, that's nuts.
I don't know who was calling that game, but they said like they've never heard Soldier Field that loud in
It was
their
loud.
30 plus years of
Yeah.
working in the NFL. And oh my God, it was loud.
Yeah. And people kind of underestimate as well, like home field advantage, 100%. Um, but I knew as well before going into this game and stuff, Packers, we were injured. I appreciate, that we had Jordan Love back, Christian Watson back and stuff as well. But I always wonder what if we had Mika Parsons there, if we had Tucker Kraft, if we had Zach Tom, if we had like a full
Yeah.
healthy team, what could have been, which is fine. But yeah, so going into that game, I was like a load of my Packer friends and stuff, they were just like, man, I'm nervous. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of excited. I don't know what to expect. And I will say this, like, I'm not going to take away from the Bears, like what they've done. I mean, for being so bad for so long and then doing what they've done now, it's a great achievement. So, I mean, fair play to them. I did know that it could go either way. It would just all depend on what Packers team turned up on the day. The
Yeah.
first half of that game was unbelievable. It was exceptional. I was excited. I was like, oh my God, the Packers are playing phenomenally. All you have to do at halftime is just reset and think to yourself, okay, now just got to win the second half. That's all you need
Yeah.
to do. And then everything just fell to shit.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I don't know if Matt LaFleur came out conservative. Like, I don't know what happened, but like everything that went wrong just went wrong for us.
Yeah.
But those 7 points by Brandon McManus was huge. And I do remember, like, I think it was the kick before going into the half where Ben Johnson blew the timeout and
Yes.
he'd already kicked in and went through. And then obviously he didn't get it through the next time. I remember saying to my friend, Matt, who's also a Packer fan, I was just like, that is going to come back and haunt us. And it did.
Yeah.
And it did. Yeah, it was brutal. Part of me, like, I'm always a heavily optimistic fan and stuff. Everybody was being like, what do you think the Super Bowl prediction is going to be? And for like the last little bit of just being like, oh, you know what? I'd love a Packers Steelers Super Bowl. We want it to happen. We're going to make it.
That would be a good one. Yeah.
Right. But I'm always heavily optimistic. But I love the realistic fans as well. But I'm just like, don't chat to me. Like, if you're
Yeah.
with me, we're like, be heavily optimistic. Be like weirdly optimistic. But losing to the Bears in the playoffs is tough. But I knew as well, whichever team was going to win this, their fan base was going to be
Yeah.
disgustingly annoying.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, it's happened.
Yeah.
The minute they took the cheese graters out, their fans in the stadium, I was like, and switch off. I was like, I'm done.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you've seen the whole hat thing, how that company got this cease and desist. That is
Yeah.
not that's
That's
flipped
so
around
funny.
and now they're selling the cheese graters. Oh my gosh, I actually looked at that company to see if the owner was a woman so that I could have her on the show.
Is she a woman? Do we know?
Yeah.
You know what? Girl, if you get her on, invite me back. I have questions.
That's awesome.
That's
That is
amazing.
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
okay, a few things to what you said really is unfortunate for again being now an unbiased. I have no investment in these playoffs anymore. It was too bad watching the Packers. Okay, no. I actually can't say that. I was going to say it was too bad watching the Packers lose. Those words can't come out of my mouth. It was enjoyable. But I really did think at that end there when Jordan Love, he went throwing that Hail Mary, I really thought for a moment, I was like, the Packers maybe might win this. Like, and if that did happen, that would have been the best playoff game in the history of playoff games, I think.
You know what? Like, I feel as if though with that Hail Mary with Jordan Love, he, like, for a second he was hesitant.
Yeah.
He was like, that Hail Mary, it wasn't 100% confident. And I
No.
knew it. I knew when he threw it, I was like, one, it's going to be a bit too short, but I was like, it's not quite there. Yeah. I mean, like that game, I don't know how to describe it to people, but like being 25 points up, it sucks.
What you said, how, it really depended on which Packers team you were going to get, which one was going to show up. And I feel like, honestly, consistently with the NFC North in particular, That is unfortunately probably each team's biggest problem is that you do not know what team you're gonna get. None of the teams are consistently good enough
No.
to win, which honestly though, I think that's kind of what makes football fun when it's not
Yeah,
your team, is you genuinely don't know. Like you truly do not know what the outcome is going to be. And really this entire season, I don't really know that there's a lot of teams. Maybe the Seahawks, unfortunately, with Sam Darnold. I cannot have him win a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. I cannot do it. But none of these teams, no, actually, even the Seahawks, you genuinely do not know what you're going to get, which makes it exciting. But at the same time, you're kind of like, well, what's going to happen? Because, like, is this team
so
going to be good?
true.
I don't know. You mentioned Matt LaFleur. Lot of discourse going on with him. We're recording this Monday morning, too, for everybody listening. Um, there's been no announcements. I'm sure he is sitting at their head office right now. I am sure that man, his butt is in a meeting probably this very second. What do
Yeah.
you think is going to happen with him, and what do you want to happen with Matt LaFleur?
Such a tough one because I've always been a big Matt LaFleur fan. And it's so funny. Like I got messages straight away from people and they're just like, what do you want to happen? Do you think he should be fired? Who do you think should come in? All of this, etc. And it's tough because I think like Matt LaFleur is he's just so good. Like he is good with this team. He's just so unfortunate and unlucky, and he is too conservative
Yeah.
when these big game gambles. And I'm just like, oh, like I feel like he just needs a couple of little tweaks and stuff. Like we've had some people who just haven't been a good fit, I think, personality wise in Green Bay, and they don't last long. Like I feel Matt LaFleur, he's a good vibe, he's a good energy when it comes to Green Bay. Like we're not a big city. We're a small city vibe. Every time I've been there and stuff, it always feels like it's an everybody knows everybody situation. Matt LaFleur, he's got one more year left on his contract. So I
Okay.
heard today, and I think it was from Adam Schefter, that both sides are going to try and see what they can do to
Yeah.
keep Matt LaFleur in Green Bay at the
Okay. I
moment.
actually am just seeing that too because
Yeah.
I was Googling how long he's been the head coach for because it's been a while now.
It's either 4 or 5 years. Unfortunately, Matt LaFleur hasn't got a good playoff run. I don't know what our issue is. If this was another team, I would be saying, is it a head coach issue? Is it a different coaching issue? Or is it a player issue? Like, where is the issue? If Matt LaFleur goes, he goes. If he stays, I would want changes to happen elsewhere as well, which I think they should anyway. So I can't ever pronounce his surname. It's like Bisacci, but our special teams coach
Yes.
needs to go.
Okay.
He is the highest paid special teams coach in the league. For
Really?
what? For what? Um, he needs to go. He's been in Green Bay. He was overdue. He should have gone like 2 years ago. He needs to be fired. What we need to do as well, because Matt is kind of like our offensive play caller as well.
Yes.
We need
Yes.
to bring somebody else in. Matt
Yes.
cannot do this all on his own.
Yeah.
Like I think Matt is great, but we need someone else to come in.
Yeah.
Um, if there's anything that we can do as well to keep Jeff Hafley in Green Bay for another year, because he's got another year on his contract too, I would love to see that happen. Partly because I also fear that some people, and I think it's maybe like, say, call it like 4 out of 5 offensive or defensive coordinators who then go into a head coaching position tend not to do very well in their first year and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's keep Jeff Hafley in Green Bay just for another year.
Mhm.
Because I do think that we have a good defense. Just riddled with injuries. There's a couple of things we need to sort out. There's a couple of players we need to get rid of as well. But Jeff Hafley is so good. So if there's ways that we can keep him as well, amazing. From what I've heard though as well, and again, trust social media, trust everything that you hear with a pinch of salt. I
Of
will say
course.
unless it's direct from someone's page,
Yeah.
like the actual NFL page or like Ian Rappaport, I would 100% trust him. I always say things with a pinch of salt, but I mean, I've heard stuff come out that Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, a couple of other people and stuff, they want to see Matt LaFleur stay in
Okay.
Green Bay,
Which is huge, I think. If your
which is
players are
massive.
banding behind your coach, that means he's doing something right.
Right? I just do think that Matt LaFleur needs to be a bit more of a hardballer.
Yeah.
I can see him getting frustrated and I see the emotion and stuff from the sideline and everything, but I kind of like I want him to be and maybe not as aggressive as Dan Campbell, because Dan Campbell shoots himself in the foot.
Or it works out so
Or it works
absolutely
out.
beautifully. Yeah.
Exactly. Listen, I do love Matt LaFleur. If he stays, just Matt LaFleur, if you're listening, which obviously you are,
We'll
just
tag him.
be
We'll
yeah,
spam him.
just be a bit more of a hardballer. This locker room does need a bit of oomph and a bit of fire and stuff under them. Like, it's so annoying. I wish our season wasn't done, but I'm excited for September. I'm excited for all these
Yeah,
injured ACLs to come
totally.
back. And I think, you know what, if Matt LaFleur and if we get everybody to stay, it's a big year. I don't know, we'll see. I think if he was going to be fired, that would have come out straight away. They would have had a conversation on the plane home. See ya, you're gone. So the fact that no news has come out at the moment, and we're nearly like 48 hours from the game and stuff happening
Yeah.
on Saturday night. I think Matt LaFleur will stay. But yeah, there's got to be change. We can't have everyone staying. I'll personally fly to Green Bay and I'll riot if everyone stays.
There's no changes. They're like, you know what? This was as good as we're gonna get. Let's just
Yeah,
keep it
we're
the same.
good. I'll be like, put me in. Put me in as the special teams coach.
Okay, you know what? Now this is kind of a twofold question here because my question is, so you can think about this as I'm really
Okay.
the long way of asking the question. My short question to the point is, who are you now cheering for with the Super Bowl? But my long way of asking that is, you posted a TikTok before the playoffs started. There is kind of this running joke that the Pope, we got a new Pope. He's from Chicago. You mentioned that you grew up Catholic. I grew up Catholic too. So if my mom's listening, she's probably like, don't talk about the Pope like that. But
No, I know.
it's a funny little thing, like the Pope, he's never said he's a Bears fan. If the Pope ever comes out and says, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, that will be the literal funniest thing in the whole entire world.
So
But we
funny.
can't deny it. Like, the Bears have never been this good. This is a good Bears
Yeah.
team. And is there some sort of correlation? I don't know. But I wanted to touch on that because I thought it was hilarious that you made that TikTok. And this is the part I said to you before we hit record that I might say something that's going to piss you off.
What, do you want to see the Bears?
I'm all in on the Bears. Yeah, I think, like, being an NFC North fan, and I posted this on Twitter, and people were like, why the hell do you think that? I think you touched on it. The Bears have been so bad for so long. The
Yeah.
Vikings, like, you want to root for the underdog a little bit, even if the underdog is in the same division. But the way that I look at it is that teams do not stay good for that long. It's always cyclical. Let's get the Bears their Super Bowl and let's get them out of there. Let's put them back at the bottom. And yeah, that's where I'm at. And I will say again too, during the season, I am just tunnel vision. I don't want to know about the rest of the teams. I just want to focus on the Vikings, especially the NFC North teams. Like, the
Yeah.
less I know, the better. I'm kind of loving Caleb Williams. Like, I think he's a pretty cool dude, and I'm rooting for him. I gotta say that I am.
My hatred for the Bears runs deep.
Fair enough. I would honestly, if I were in your position right now, I'm trying to think. I'm a Vikings fan. The Vikings have just lost to the Lions, and you're interviewing me. Packers are out of the playoffs, and you're telling me that you're rooting for the Lions. I'd probably hang up and say
Yeah.
goodbye.
Listen, there's no denying the Bears are good. They have been lucky. I will say that
Okay.
as well. But listen,
Okay.
they're definitely, like, they've improved so much. I'll give them that. Like, I'll always give people their flowers when they need to. They seem to have also had a religious awakening with Pope Leo in their corner. Yeah, the faith of God is 100% with them.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, the LA Rams, though, are a force to be reckoned with. But I've been saying for ages that the LA Rams within the NFC, they will make it to the championship game. But this week, we've got the Rams playing the Bears at
Yeah.
Soldier Field. You've got Puka Nakua, you've got Devontae Adams. You know what I will say? Ultimately, I probably am going to go for the Rams. I want to see I want to see Tay Adams get a ring. He deserves
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah, definitely. That makes total sense. Yeah.
the Rams are just good. Like,
Yeah.
their defense is good, their offense is good and everything as well. If they can just explode more on kind of the run game as well, I have a feeling the Rams are going to walk all over the Bears at Soldier Field. The AFC is an interesting one because I will say, if the Steelers win tonight,
Yes.
I am going to go all in on them to get to the Super Bowl.
And are you
Um,
still an Aaron Rodgers fan?
Listen, I've always said I love Aaron Rodgers. Yes,
Okay.
he's a crazy person. He does weird stuff. I don't agree with everything that he says,
Fair
but I mean,
enough.
he made me a Packer fan.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's true. You
got to
gotta,
ride with
yeah.
him.
Okay.
But if I can see, oh man, I love a good narrative as well, and I love a good storyline. If I can see Aaron Rodgers go up against Devontae Adams in the Super Bowl, amazing. Love it.
Wait, now my wheels are turning though. Aaron Rodgers against the Bears in the Super Bowl?
I just don't see a way that the Bears are like, and again, I love playoff football because anything can happen. And with the playoffs, like you're one
Yeah.
and you're done. There's no second chances.
Yeah.
A lot would need to happen for the
Fair enough.
Bears to be able
A
to
lot of luck.
dominate. A lot of
Yeah.
luck. Let's see what happens up against this Rams team this week. I think that
Mhm.
is going to be that's going to be tough. If the bear if the Bears can stop this Rams team, who knows? But sadly, I don't see the Bears going to the Super Bowl. I kind of think it's going to be a bit like a Detroit Lions situation like we saw last year where the
Yeah.
Lions fell to Washington, which I was not expecting, but a great
I
game that
loved it.
was. And I was saying this all year and stuff. I think the Bears are just 1 or 2 years too short of making it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're a great team and everything, and they've been making so many strides and stuff this year, both kind of with their coaching staff and their players and stuff as well. They seem to be gelling a lot more. But I'd say like give it another year or two rather than it just being like a fluke this year. Oh my god, we'll see. I could be totally wrong.
You know what? Now you
Yeah.
get to join in on the who gives a fuck fun because now
Right?
you just get to sit back and relax, and
I'll be sending
unfortunately they're
Cancun
out.
invitations to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah.
good time, let me tell you. But again, just going back, I'm of the mindset I'm like, you know what? Get these Bears a Super Bowl, switch up their coaching staff like Ben Johnson, he's not going anywhere. That's fine. Let's get rid of some of the coordinators. Let's get rid of some of these players and let's put them back down because I
Yeah.
don't like the thought of them being a contender for the next 3 years. I don't
No,
want to do that.
we need the order back in the NFC North.
Yes,
We definitely
exactly.
need it. We feel out of sync, and I'm not liking it. Yeah,
That is awesome. Well, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I've always like my dream a Bills Vikings Super Bowl. I wouldn't even be mad if the Bills win that. Like two teams have never won before. That would just be amazing. And I'm like, you know what? After that crazy Bears performance, give me a Bears Bills Super Bowl.
could I? This can be a weird pun. Could I bear it to have the Bears winning the Super Bowl? Absolutely not.
That's too good. That's too good. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
I'm excited to go. Yeah,
And I'm excited for next season too for it to all reset because I really do love the NFC North. I think it's just awesome. All right, Ash, thank you so much for coming on. This was so much fun. Have a great rest of your day.
you too, darling.
Thank you so much to Ash for joining us. I realized mid-episode that I've done more Packers episodes this NFL season than I have Minnesota Vikings episodes. So I'm definitely going to have to do a Minnesota Vikings episode to even this out because that we can't have that, okay? I love talking about football, but not the Packers. No, that's not true. I love talking about the Packers. I love now that Packer fans just get to sit back and hang out with the Vikings fans, the Lions fans, all the rest of the teams who did not make the playoffs. It's fun. It's relaxing. We just get to chill out, which is nice to do. Of course, would it be nice to watch our teams win a Super Bowl? Yes. Yes, it would. Would I prefer the insane stress? Yes. I probably would. But you know what? We don't got that this season and we're just gonna relax. It's okay. That is all from me though. If you liked this episode, be sure to let me and Ash know. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a little comment. If you're listening on Spotify, you can comment as well. I always love hearing from you guys. It's up there for one of my favorite parts of actually doing the Name One Player podcast is engaging with all of the people who listen. So thank you so much. I'm going to get out of here, but again, Thank you so much to every single person for listening. It means the absolute world to me. Although the little hiatus was necessary, I'm so glad that I'm back. I am so glad that I'm back. You ain't getting rid of me. We will be back next week and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. And I love it. I'm so happy to be back. All right, everybody. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and a fantastic rest of your week. Take care, everyone. Bye.